I'm Ruthie, she, they, and I play Sentinel, she, they.
I'm Will, he, him, and I play Moxie, she, her.
I'm Immy, she, her, and I play Amaya, also she, her.
I'm Steve, he, him. I play Aura, he, him.
I'm Sarah, she, her, and I play Freya, she, her.
Hi, I'm Mike, he, him, and I'm playing Eugene Ballantyne, he, him.
I'm Charlie, he, him, and I'm your DM.
Break up.
Okay, right.
That was worse than what I did to Ruthie. It was worse than what...
No, we're done. Pack up your shit, get out of my house.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Handy to detective kill Mike.
So,
I've
done the numbers. So, last time, finally, that is a lot of sugar. Sounds like gravel. Is it remotely enjoyable? No.
Get it up close to the mic, you know you wanna.
Please don't. Oh wow. Sounds like a fireplace. Okay, so well,
It won't stop.
holy shit! Don't open your mouth. That is
So loud.
so. It has been a few weeks now that you've been in Dustmere.
It's not even.
I think it's been about 2.
I think it's been more than a bit.
Yeah. And you guys got yourselves well tangled up in a bunch of conspiracies that you've started attempting to tie together. And where we've got to is finally we've got to this ball at the Duke Debiles estate, or crowned Duke Debiles. It is a masquerade. It is something that you guys have been aware of for your entire time in Dustmere. I think you found out about it before you even got back. Yeah. And it is a place where Gaspar has set up this huge event with around the theme of ancient mysteries and magics. A little bit tacky.
Food isn't.
Food's good.
Amen, sister.
And you guys have got a couple of goals. Your primary one, if I remember rightly, was to gather intel, and that was mainly on basically to try and confirm your suspicions about what's going on in your conspiracy board, that why they're collecting coilstones, whether it is Gaspar that's behind it or Debiles, how the Syndicate or Julien ties into this. There are a few things that you're trying to figure out. The second one, if I remember rightly, was if you get the opportunity, you will take a shot at Julien. Whether or not you guys had decided that was a definite, I don't know.
I was not in
I
agreement
believe
with
it was
this.
a definite one.
So,
I think that's what we found out last session. I think that one's off the cards.
so you arrived at the ball. The guests shortly after, but first of all, we had our cooks who turned up in the ball.
Chefs get fucked.
They met their chef, who was a chef, Lila Rogan, bit of a workmaster, and they succeeded in their courses.
Sorry, we didn't even just succeed. We improved them.
You did,
Amen.
you did.
We haven't tried
I believe
the
we took it to the next level.
Well, he said.
You took it to the next level. He's got you continuing. I think he said do it again. So you guys are churning out courses.
We're gonna try them. That's gonna be good part of the episode.
Yeah, we had a bracing skill challenge from the Scullery Maid.
So good.
Tense of everything.
And Aura met.
around.
So that.
Yeah, Aura, you met Clayton, who was also on duty. You set up a rope, a tree, and hid it from view. This is at the wall of the estate. And then you continued on your duties. And at the end of last session, Moxie was taken aside by her uncle, Batista. Yay. And after not seeing him for several months, and you're on the run, and you came back and he was missing, he revealed that he had one of these necklaces around his neck. these obsidian stones that you've seen around the hag, and I think also on the archivist's thief that you fought. And he told you a number of things about Julien, about a conspiracy that he's tied himself closely with the Dukes, and he advised you to go and seek out a man called Zapes, among a few other things. And that, I think, is where we left off. So,
Well,
where are we going? Just
Where are
checking the
we?
notes.
Where are we, dear?
Whilst all everyone dies.
I was going to say, like, we are not together. The party is firmly split.
Aura.
Hello.
So you have, at this time, you've been wandering around the gardens with Clayton. You've done a couple of shift changes, but it's very casual. It's the complete opposite to what you'd be used to with the Edge Watchers. It's a bit of a jolly, to be honest. They're getting paid pretty well, at least the house captain Herald is, the dwarf guy, very gruff one. And you've basically been given free roam of your posts, and you've gone around the garden a couple of times. There's this patio at the rear of the estate. I think you've got a map, haven't you, of the estate? There's a patio at the rear of the main hall, and you can see a couple of people milling around outside. Some of them are already a little bit drunk. It's getting into sort of early evening at this point. You've already hung up that rope on the outside. What is it you'd like to do? You've got another rotation outside, and you'll probably be moving to swap with an inside guard shortly.
Mainly just sort of waiting to get inside. Just sort of getting a look at sort of who's out and about, and just sort of any other ways in or out of the hall. Like, are there any windows?
Yeah, there are huge windows of the hall, so they kind of span from about 4 foot off the floor up to near the ceiling. So these huge partly stained glass, partly clear lead-lined windows. In terms of other escapes or exits, there is the main door that leads out. So if you imagine the front of the house, the hall is on the right-hand side of you, and it stretches out to your right. The stage on the far most right, and there is a door on the other side of that. So if you were entering the hall with the stage in front of you, the door is on the left outside. Yeah. And so that's the main one that they're leaving to the patio. Other than that, you've got the main entrance into the hall that leads into the atrium, where there are the 2 sweeping staircases, and then obviously the exit at the front. And one thing I would say is, you'd remember when you came to the offices to Mr. Yuld. Those offices are actually upstairs. They're on the first floor. So you went up one of the sweeping stairs, and they're on the left. So other than that, that's the sort of lay of the land you've got. You would also know where the kitchens are, so the opposite side of the ground floor to the hall.
How close can I get to, like, just on the rotation, like, sort of near the kitchen's, like, on an outside wall, or?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
How thick are the walls?
They're pretty thick.
You got notes
Like
on
a
the
foot
thickness?
thick?
Oh yeah, they're definitely a foot thick. I was going to make you roll, but they're definitely a foot thick. They're solid stone.
Are there any windows I can peek through?
In the kitchen?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some small windows. If you make your way around the rear of the property and you're looking into where the kitchens are, you can see the open doors. There's the sound of cooking, of pots and pans clanging. There's a couple of people, some maids and servants coming and slinging stuff into sort of compost heaps, and sacks are piling up outside the door.
You hear more salt in the distance.
If I see Maya or Eugene, I'm just going to send a message. How's it going?
I wouldn't say you can. Let's say if you go around the far side and you look in the door over a period of minutes, you can probably see them. Which one would you focus on? You can see both of them. They're standing opposite each other. Eugene's got like a stack of chocolate puddings.
Oh, actually, I didn't say this last time, but I would get out a small vial and cast Mage Hand to help me chop up stuff quicker.
Nice, yeah. So you can see Eugene using Mage Hand, maybe to like move some of the chocolate around, scoop it into a pile, and that kind of stuff.
It's
Either
sanitary.
Probably
Either
not.
of them doing anything like particularly like sort of like focused on things. So I don't want to like. I don't want to scare them, basically.
From what they were doing previously, because we've kind of taken a step back in time for when they were doing their skill challenge, they are focused on the task at hand.
Yeah.
And that's what it looks like.
I will message Eugene then. How's it going in there?
So I hear this and I sort of look around. Can I see Aura through the window? Because do I know where the sound's coming from?
No, I don't think you do.
Okay. Is it 25 words or what?
Yeah.
It's like a sentence for message.
Yes, it's going okay.
It's not.
Oh,
I suppose that's one sentence. That's what I say.
Yep.
Because it hasn't. We at that point had the head chef come in.
He's milling about.
Yeah. Head chef seems a bit mean. Nothing to report, I suppose.
Who are you talking to? Get on with the work. Come on.
Oh, sorry. I was talking to my my mage hand. Yeah, chop. Keep chopping.
Okay. Walks off.
If I see him walk off, I'll just send another message. I've got Clayton with me. Can you pass the message on to the others?
Oh, okay.
That's the point. So you have the sending stones. Who has the sending stones? You and Moxie? Or you and
I've
Seth?
got it.
Okay.
I don't think I would probably wait until I had something actually like substantial to say. So I would say it with that, but I wouldn't just say because it's one use
Yeah.
per day. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
sending stones are actually really shit compared to how everyone
I did
uses
not
sending
realise that.
stones.
But it's one per, so like if I send one, then you get to reply, and then you get to send one, and I get to reply.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you guys are aware of it. So that's fair enough.
So yeah, I'd wait until.
In,
Sending stones are so shit when they're not actually used in a
do
fun
you
way.
tell me that?
No, it's true.
or
Well, I probably wouldn't tell you that, but I would still send. I would still let them know, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
let them know them.
I think
no,
that
you wouldn't. Would you let me know that you can only send it once?
I think that you would know that aura, so
Okay.
so assume you would know that. And what we'll do, and just so that everyone's aware, I think in the terms of making it, there'll be rules as written. If you wanted to enhance it some way or buy them, you could buy more expensive ones that have more of an unlimited or a bigger use.
Yeah, because I think that's fair for like
yeah.
something that we can make at
Yeah.
what level for.
Exactly. So that's I'm
I
happy
could make
to
it level 2.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, so that's fair enough.
We'll rules as written it for now, and obviously if it's something you guys want to buy and you're investing money and time into it, fine. But for now, yeah.
Cool, that's fair enough.
In that case, knowing that, like, I would still let them know.
Oh yeah, I'm still.
And I'll wander off and see if I can get a glimpse inside and just see if I can see any of the other three.
Yeah,
Just
I think
to let
then
them know as well.
with that, you are aware that you're moving. You know, your time to go inside is going to be happening soon. You're moving around with Clayton, and just before you do go, you notice that there is a kind of almost what you would think is a servants' quarters building off towards one of the walls. It's covered in these brown bushes, kind of obscure it slightly, but it's made of the same stone as the house. It's very nice. But you do see someone rustling around in the bush over there.
One person or two.
Roll me a perception check.
Hey! Please be Pharaoh. Please be Pharaoh.
17.
You only see one person. They look pretty well dressed, and you can see their back, and they look quite low down on the ground, almost like they're looking for something on the floor.
Like they got their back to me.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna appear behind them.
Okay, so do you let Clayton know that because he's with you?
I'll point out to him, and then we'll just go over and stand behind them.
Okay, yeah, you guys, he wouldn't stealth if you aren't, so you walk over, and I'd say after you get sort of within 15 feet of the guy or woman,
Or person.
you see them, they hear you, and they turn around, and it's someone who looks kind of red-faced. They look like they've been recently kind of scrubbed up. They don't look wealthy. They've got bad teeth. Their hands are kind of very calloused, and they're in quite nice clothes. and they start gathering some bits up from the floor and tucking them. Sorry, probably not supposed to be around out here.
The patio's free to use, but something we can help you gather up.
No, just paraphernalia. That's all.
Okay. Can I see your ticket?
Oh yeah, yes. Takes a very, very nervous and holds it out in this very calloused hand, a little bit tremble. You see it. It's a ticket, the coins as you've seen them before.
I see the name on it.
Yeah, it just says R. Davids on it.
Ah, David.
Ah, David.
David.
Ah, David.
Is everything all right? Is that fine?
Yeah, looks fine to me.
All right, cheers. So just
Enjoy yourself.
roll an investigation check for me. I'll get him.
Oh no.
Clayton as well.
I was going to say, can Clayton do something, or is he just standing there?
What's that?
Yeah, can Clayton help me?
He rolled trash.
Oh no.
It's an 8.
Yeah, that's what he rolled.
Oh fucking hell. These boys were not built for seeing.
All right, yeah, he walks off. He just stumbles back. He's got a little limp. Moves back over to the patio. Looks over his shoulder at you. Keeps moving across the kind of. It's not so much a lawn as a very low, very like short cut brown moss. He moves across that towards the patio.
Well, that was strange.
Yeah. I mean, should we... I can't really be bothered. He's probably just drunk, but one thing I would say is he's not... I don't know, doesn't sound like a dick, but he wasn't exactly well off. He was wearing nice stuff, but he looked a bit rough around the edges. Had hands worse than mine.
Can you keep an eye on him for a second?
All right.
I'm just going to run back to the kitchen, message Eugene, and just say, there's a shady guy fiddling about the bushes.
Okay.
He's going back inside, and just like, however many messages it takes, just give a vague description so they've got some information.
I don't mean to be terribly rude, Aura, but in your position, you're a guard. I don't know if I can do too much about it at this time. Perhaps watch him?
A very valid point.
Clayton's watching him. If we get caught out in a moment, it might be someone to keep an eye out for.
So I just say okay. And
One thing I will remind you of is, no, actually, this wasn't you guys. Ignore me. It was something Moxie saw, not you. So.
okay, cool.
What did I see?
What did you say?
I mean, to put it vaguely, you saw people acting strangely. I think that you guys in the hall saw a few people acting strangely.
Yeah, there were people that shouldn't.
Yeah.
That was
there were
about
weird
it.
people
But
invited.
we were going to get to that when
yeah,
we
and
got
there
to
were
us
those chefs that
eventually.
had been like invited.
Oh yeah.
Cooks.
Okay. Clayton.
Rejoin Clayton and like.
Yeah, he's at the sort of rear entrance of the ball, of the hall, and the other guards are there ready to change over.
Yeah, I'll go over there and I'm going to see if I can spot Freya or Sentinel or Moxie inside.
Yeah, so you switch over with the guards inside. There's 2 posts inside. One of them's at the rear door. The other one's at the inside door, which can actually look out. So the one at the rear door is basically just to check people coming in and out and check they're not nicking anything. And just generally looking out.
Metal detectors.
Yeah, and then the ones at the main entrance that sort of stand with their backs to the atrium, they actually can see all the way down the long part of the L-shaped hall, this kind of foot of it, and then also all the way to the end where the stage is and the 2 tables are. You move in with the guys at the door. Clayton doesn't say anything. He just points at the guy who's now milling around inside.
Yeah. If I see Freya, I'll just point out this guy to them.
Yeah, so...
And I assume, like, Freya probably sees me come in with Clayton.
Yeah, I would say just for yeah, just for clarity, it's probably around... This is the moment that Moxie is currently with Batista. So you guys, Freya and Sentinel, you're actually in the ball. So whether you're together or not, it's up to you.
I think we're not at the moment, are we? We went.
I went to the bathroom to get Zeal.
That's right. So you're in the water closet.
And I'm like roaming around.
No,
Looking.
that's right. And Zeal's actually, he's kind of about to enter the ball and look around at Julien, isn't he?
And the ritual stuff.
And the
'Cause
rituals
he was
on
like,
stage.
I don't know anything about rituals. You're a tiny magical fucking squirrel.
Okay, so you said you were going to message Freya.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guy acting a bit suspicious. He was rummaging around with something by, I guess, servants' quarters. Doesn't look like he should be here though, even if he's dressed fancy.
I would say this is probably, yeah, it's fine for now. Watch it on the message because it's one sentence, isn't it?
Can I
But it
look
is a
around?
cantrip, so you can just keep.
Yeah.
Can I look around before I reply? Do I see
Sure.
anyone suspicious coming from that direction?
Roll a perception check.
Does she really need to?
It's just in case it's above 21.
Well, this is my way of... So,
It's a natural 20.
okay.
27?
Yeah. So this is my way of like giving you all a recap on what everything looks
No,
like.
+7.
So you guys, so what Freya sees is everything. The hall is a giant, like I said, L shape, and where would you be in that, Freya? Are you at the base or are you up the tall part of it where the two tables are?
I was looking at the two tables, wasn't
So
I?
it's maybe towards that end of it then, yeah. So in that like L-shaped bit that joins with the atrium, that's where a lot of these more people who you might consider out of place are milling about. They're staying away from the top end where a lot more of the nobles are. You have on the right-hand table, so right of the stage, is the guest of honor table. And there is the man that you assume is this Opari guy, who's wearing a kind of one pauldron on his left shoulder that's layered enamel plating of white and green. And he's got I think it was a crystal mask. And the strange thing about his clothes is that the cloak he's wearing, it's kind of half cut into ribbons halfway up the back. On that table as well, you see a member of what you think is the Guild of Lapidarists. There was, I think there was Julien as well. That was the other person there who is wearing that blank red mask. They're just featureless. He has the one horn that's capped off. He's slim. He looks very similar to Sentinel, to be honest. In terms of his body, very thin. He's elegant about the way he moves. You have the Dukes, Gaspar, his Mr. Bisfowl, the large gentleman that came to you when you were arriving back at Dustmere. You have who you think is Duke Debiles, this round man with the kind of flappy middle parting, blonde hair, very kind of odd-looking man. Yeah, his wife is a thin woman in a massive sort of drowning orange dress. You see Clayton and you see Aura enter, and they take up station at the rear door. And in terms of people acting strangely, yes, there are nodules of these people who look potentially a little out of place, and you see one of them, a rough-looking man, rejoin a group of them, and they're kind of picking at the food as it comes past with wide eyes, maybe carrying a little bit too much.
I see them. There are loads.
Yeah, you probably maybe between a third of the people there.
Do they have necklaces? On the lookout for necklaces.
With a 27, no, they don't. They don't have a. Some of them have like tight collars that look a little bit out. They don't fit them, but you think that because the ones that you've seen as those obsidian ones, they're quite chunky, and you can't see them on anyone.
Can I see them on any of the people at the big table?
The only people wearing necklaces at the big table are Julien's wearing jewelry, but nothing like that. Duke Debiles has that massive necklace with the giant gold coin around it with the square cut out. Mm-hmm. And Gaspar has the same necklace that you've seen him wear, which is the choker, the black gem, and like the platinum and gold coiling around the edges.
So Gaspar has a black gem necklace.
He has done ever since you've seen him. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I just say like, I see them. We'll keep a lookout. Keep a weather eye.
Okay.
Have you seen the others?
The Sentinel's in the bathroom. Not sure about anyone else.
Actually, with your 27, some of the guests who you would consider out of place are wearing necklaces that you would identify as the footprints of Debiles, the golden footprints that they were selling in the market.
Okay.
So you guys were going past them all the time. They would sell these little gold-plated things, and some of them are wearing those around the necks.
Okay.
We'll just take up our post and keep watching. How far away from like Julien and Debiles are we posted?
So if you imagine the L shape above
Yeah.
you are at the very end of the foot of the L,
Okay.
and they are up on the right-hand side of the upper part.
Like diagonally up.
Yeah. So you can't actually see them because there's a wall. So you'd have to move around to look to see them.
Yeah. We'll just sort of shuffle to somewhere where we can get a bit of a view.
Yeah.
Sort of a view of the whole room.
I think Clayton kind of gathers that you're acting strange. What do you see?
It looks like there's a lot of them that shouldn't be here.
Well, I didn't catch you for a classist. No, I know what you mean. That fella has worked a hard day every day of his life, and it's odd to see him here. What do you think?
I don't know, it looks... Maybe they're invited for a reason, like... What? Why would they be invited to something like this?
Well, I mean, I guess Gaspar has cut the... They've cut the toll. What's it called? The tax on the desert scavengings. So it may be that he's... I mean, in my mind, it's not like he's turning over a new leaf, but maybe he's trying to gain favour among the masses. Why else would he take less gold? Could be that. I don't know.
Adding more people to his cult.
A cult?
I told you about the cult, didn't I?
I no.
We've not seen him since. We've literally not seen him since Snake.
What cult?
Snack.
I'm sure I told him I told him everything we thought was going on.
Actually, maybe you did tell him a third party was involved.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you probably, we'll say you catch him up on that.
Yeah, I'll catch him up on that.
Right. God damn, I thought this was going to be a nice, easy one.
I mean, it's never easy when we're around, is it?
Yeah. Okay. For everyone in the ball, and Moxie, I would say you probably finished up with Batista. So would you head back up to the... You were getting new rags, weren't you?
Yeah, I was planning on heading up, so yeah, I probably...
You do that and then head back out.
Yeah.
So I'd say as you're coming back out of the little secret scullery, or it's not secret, but hidden, disguised entrance onto the main hall, which puts you at the foot of the L shape as well. Everyone in there, so Aura and Sentinel, Moxie and Freya, you start hearing yelling coming from the front entrance.
Fuck. We were just about to do shit.
Yeah, we had stuff we wanted to do.
It's not like a fight, but you just hear raised voices, so you can absolutely ignore it.
I'm gonna message Freya and go, what is the betting that's Pharaoh?
I was thinking that.
I skip over to the top. Not skip. I walk.
I come out of the bathroom.
Swiftly to the door.
Okay.
I
not trying
will
to come be
purposefully
subtle.
walk in that direction as if I'm going to go see what the ruckus is.
Yeah, so in terms of the guards, you would see the guys ahead of you who are actually at the atrium door. So they turn to look in, and one of them moves in. So you move ahead of them, and Freya, you probably at a similar time.
Am I allowed to go too? Or?
You can if you like, yeah. So you came out of the water closet, heard the yelling. So few of you come together, and you're looking through the door, and yeah, you see a Why are you giggling?
It's 100%.
You see a male tiefling, and he's wearing like he's got sandy kind of hair. It's almost sun bleach at the tips, basically. Neatly trimmed stubble. He's wearing a dark green tail jacket, sort of soft leather, and frilly collared shirt that's way open. He looks a bit dusty. I'm telling you, I've got bloody tickets. All right. And they're just basically just dealing with him like, sir, calm down.
No, he's ours. This is the one I was telling you. It's Farry, right?
Yeah, it's 100%.
100%. He's ours. I have his ticket.
He shoves one of them over and they fall on the floor.
Behave. Otherwise, you're not getting in. Because remember, I still have
actually,
the
to be fair, with that, the guards would probably come over as well. So the one in there comes over and starts hassling him as well.
Have you been drinking?
Of course I bloody well have. It's a party. Have you got a ticket or not?
Are you going to behave?
It's a pleasure to see you, by the way.
Well, we'll get to that. Are you going to behave?
Yes, of course.
Apologise to the guard.
I'm sorry. He looks
Help
down.
him
He
up.
looks down here on the floor. I'm sorry. He turns away.
Help him up.
He looks at you,
I'll hold the ticket.
and the man gets up. He taps him and pats him on the shoulder.
Right, and I give the ticket. I don't give him the ticket. I give it to the MC guy.
Cool, yeah. He kind of takes it, checks it on the stone, hands it to you, and then Farrow grabs it.
We'll make sure he behaves. Farrow, it's lovely to see you, darling.
It's a pleasure. And he,
Like fully fake smile, like.
Yeah, he grabs your hand to kiss it.
Let him.
Kisses it. Are you in there as well?
Yeah, I'm just like...
At the door, yeah. You're wearing a mask. I don't know if he would recognise you.
I do the awkward wave.
He kind of squints, and to be fair, he has a mask, but it's around his neck, and it's just an eye mask. And he just squints at you, and he's like, wave. Oh, yes.
Right, come on, let's go get you some more wine.
Well, and he walks through, and the maitre d' at the door tries to grab him to announce him, and he just kind of pushes past him.
Do you want your painting done?
Oh, I've got plenty of those.
Okay, fine. In.
Well, and he puts the mask on. Smells of money.
Oh, yes.
I like it.
Of course you do.
He walks in, after a while, he kind of sticks around with you for a bit, grabbing drinks off of trays. So where is this Gaspar fellow then?
You don't even recognise the own guy that you are
No, I haven't wearing masks.
obsessed with. Oh, just I point at the top table.
Oh, yes. I've never met the fellow, so...
So how was your journey? Really pointed small talk.
It was fine. A little bit pissed that I was left to my own devices without any communication, but I guess we're here.
We only had like 1 or 2 sending sticks that you gave. How else were we supposed to get in contact with you? You just told us, I'll see you at the ball. You were the one who didn't want any contact.
I guess. It's fine.
What a contrary ass.
Finishes the first drink, goes to grab another one off of a tray. Is there food?
There should be food.
Oh, yes.
Is there any food? Can I see any food?
He goes up to...
Is there any food?
Yeah, there is. And he carries... You guys grab kind of a waiter who's got a massive tray of the little foie de brick pastries with the
with
prawn.
charred cactus, salad and prawn.
King prawn.
Plain prawn.
We sample.
Yeah.
I ate 4 of them.
Yeah, they're very good.
They're very good.
They're real good.
Not enough salt though.
Oh, this is definitely on my
Is this enough to send to her, or should we wait until we have actual gossip? Just tell her that her food was really good.
The waiter's looking at you like, do you want me to...
Tell the chef
Leave.
it's very lovely.
Okay, yes. I will tell
leave the
Mr. Rolligan. Thank you. And you leave the tray, was that? I don't think I can do that.
I think you
Can
can.
I just take it off?
Roll an intimidation check. Because he wants his tray.
Me, you're free.
That is I would say you can both do it.
Intimidation? Oh, do I have?
You got
That's a natural 19 plus
Yeah, you
6.
did enhance ability in charisma, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, you're right. You did.
It's not great.
I mean, I was a natural 19
19.
plus 6, so
Good,
25.
because I got 11.
Yeah, so you're fully holding the tray, eating off of it.
I flick of it. Oh, and what have I got? Oh, what have I got easy access to?
Copper.
Flashing the copper around in the noble.
Nah, I can't be bothered to split out my silver.
He
It's
kind
not
of
fast.
you see him think about taking it off of you for a moment, and then he just
Thank you
he
so
just
much.
turns around and walks off back to the.
Thank you
Is
so
there anyone
much.
with drinks nearby?
Yeah, but I would say most people have got some kind of drink.
No, like a
Oh, a tray? Yeah, a couple
Okay,
of yeah.
well, while I'm holding the tray, I grab a drink. I basically neck the drink.
Okay.
Jesus,
Is
where?
this the first drink?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I won't make you roll for the first drink then.
No, we had a drink on the way in because we were mingling with. I will be
Oh,
honest.
you did? Yeah, roll Constitution.
Had some roadies as well.
We didn't have any roadies.
Roll Constitution check. Pre-drinks.
We did not have pre-drinks and we did not have walk me downs.
15.
Okay, yeah, you're fine.
Okay. I say, wish me luck. And I take the tray over to one of the groups of weird people.
Okay, yeah. So there's
I
a
don't think we're I should roll.
yeah, there's a group of about 7 or 8 of them, and they look a little bit awkward. Some of them have food in their hands and they're like picking at it.
Isn't this a lovely party?
Oh my Jesus.
Wasn't it great to be invited? Although,
Roll
How
a
far
performance
away?
check.
How far away is she from us?
I say, well, yeah, like 20 feet, so you can see what he's doing.
I'll straight away back it up another 10 and be like, nope.
I'm just going to nudge Clayton and just like nod in the direction that Freya's
Okay,
going, and
so
just
you can see it.
13.
13, okay. Let's just roll a general. Oh my god, that was a nat one. Okay.
Yeah!
So they are well out of like
That was
they're
bad.
well out of their comfort zone, and they're like, and they look at you for a moment. You're quite extravagantly dressed, not at all like any of the servants. Like, and a couple of them take the food without saying anything. You brought over a tray of. Oh no, you downed your drink. That's right. So they take some of these cling prawn things and like, thank you.
I was very surprised to be invited. What about you guys?
Yeah. One of them, the bit closer than you, seems a little bit more amiable. A younger guy wearing a very plain kind of wooden eye mask. Oh yeah, I mean, I think we were all quite
Praise
surprised.
Debiles, you know what I'm talking
Okay.
If I hear that, another 10 feet away.
Roll a deception check for that one.
Praise to Biles, am I right?
I'm just going to message Sentinel. What is she doing?
I'm running away. I'm running away.
Oh
God.
What did you get?
11?
no. Okay.
This is with advantage.
Oh.
Could have been with us.
What? They did roll a nat 1 for the initial. Okay, I'll say I'll get rolling with disadvantage because they rolled so low on the previous.
Go all in.
Kind of
Aim for
bought
penny for
What did you roll?
In for a copper and for silver.
Okay, they also rolled an 11, so
Roll off.
they're like, they look a little bit like, yeah.
Does it look, from where I am, does it look like she's struggling?
It's hard to say. I think that it's debatable. One of them, I would say you've lost the good portion of them. The one of them that's closer to you, maybe is a little bit more tipsy, and he's eating more of these things. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I was surprised there was as many of us here, to be honest. But it's good to know that we're welcome."
I do that thing where you leave like an awkwardly long pause so that they want to fill the space.
Okay, yeah.
Like just smiling.
When did you first find him? If you don't mind my asking.
He's over there.
How long ago was the hag incident?
About a week, I think it was.
Yeah.
So they've only really, you would know that these guys have only been well in it for a matter of days.
About a week ago, you know. What was the thing that they were saying? They were praising on the streets? Debiles is the king to be spear?
Oh yeah, so they were one of
the
the
rightful king.
That's right. So they basically there was a lot of like shit that they were just confusing together. So they were saying
Debiles walks a penitent.
That's right.
The penitent path, right?
Yeah. He will overcome the great wave of light and bring the city a new dawn. Something like that. I've never heard such beautiful words as I heard in the square that day.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, that's great.
I love the tempe.
They say
I'm still getting close now, I'm worried.
they were talking of his return being akin to the Emperor. Legends speak of when the spear is recovered. You know that isn't a common myth anyway about the old Emperor. So they're kind of saying that he's going to be the one to find the spear and bring back the Emperor. He's a penitent as a leader as the one who will overcome the great wave of hands. That's something that they say.
Mm-hmm.
And light the city into a new dawn. So they're saying a lot of weird stuff. Yeah, I would say.
So I look like lovingly over at the high table, and I'm like, he will overcome the wave of hands.
Okay, roll a persuasion check with. You're already rolling with advantage.
Yeah.
Then I can't do anything more than that.
I know. If only it helped me enough. Okay, that's okay. 17.
Okay. You still lost most of them before, but the one that you are talking to, he seems brought on by that, and he kind of pulls out his necklace, the footprint. It's silly that they call them footprints because they're tiny. It would be like a baby's foot, and it's got a hole drilled through it. And he holds that, and he's like, "Yes, it is an unspeakable honor to be in his presence." He kind of looks up at him for a bit as well. There's a manic kind of flavor to his eyes. You know, he's like very that euphoria of someone who is so like deep in a conspiracy that they just believe that this is right with their whole being. And a few of the that you lost kind of walk off, mill around with the food.
Sentinel, come meet my friend. She's behind me.
How far away were you backing away?
I'd backed up like a bit, and then I got close when I started worrying that there was an issue, so I was about 30 feet away.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and Pharaoh is with you as well.
So I like beckon them.
Okay. He walks over. Yes.
Your friend?
Yes, what is your name?
Oh, my name is Jarim.
Can you spell that for me, sir?
It's a strange question. Jrrin.
He's another follower of the Great Debiles.
What the bloody hell are you talking about?
I just like kind of elbow Pharaoh in the side. Like, cool.
I know when I'm not wanted. He walks off.
Oh, that's not what I meant.
He's
I
gone.
like nudge the Plato builders, our new friend. Okay.
Yeah, this huge tray. It takes some more. Welcome. It's an honour to meet all of you.
And you as well.
He takes it and eats it awkwardly in front of you. Doesn't really know what to say.
I don't really want to see this through. What was your plan?
So, where did your reputation come from?
Well, it came through the stubs. We were given it in person. A man came round to the house, directed to me. It was named, and Martini pulls out the ticket, the coin. Yes.
Personal invitation. You must be a beloved.
Did this not happen for you?
I had to go through another route.
Oh. He
But I knew I would be here
Yes.
to praise.
You good?
Oh man.
You are
What was
on your
fir-
own, sister.
What was your first performance check?
It's like a
It's debatable, yeah. Okay.
13, I think, maybe.
He kind of, because you said that he was given, basically he thinks he was given special treatment, he's like, really like, oh my god. This is wonderful. I wonder if I can go closer. we were told not to bother him, but
Someone's so blessed. I'm sure that he would be.
Could get this guy killed.
you're right. Thank you. I will build myself up to it, but I will go and speak to him.
Blessings of Debiles go with you.
Roll a performance check.
My charisma is so much better. Performance. No, I mean that's a 14.
Yeah. He's so in deep now, so he's just like, thank you, and to you both. And to your friend. Hopefully he sees the light soon.
We have been working on it, but he is just so damn stubborn.
Yes, it's a shame, but when
Committed to the old gods, shall we say.
Quite. When people understand the truth, though, they will be quick to change. He walks off, nods to you, and walks in that direction, kind of like milling, and like a man who's trying to build up the courage to go and ask someone out. He's kind of, you can see him.
I wanted to do this like way back, probably when we arrived. From the scope of the room, and obviously now we've been milling around a bit. It's kind of like a review of the people who are there. So like the people who, for an event like this, I would have expected to be there who aren't. Are there, like, obviously there's the people, like, is there anyone that I really recognise? Is there anything other than these guys that is standing out? Like, just kind of general that shit.
Okay. Yeah, roll I would say an investigation check.
18.
So the only member of the syndicate here, other than maybe ex-syndicate, the only other person here is Julien, and obviously Moxie. In terms of people that stand out, once you guys have spoken to them, it's clear that these Debiles worshippers they stand out like a sore thumb once you've kind of identified them. The rest of the people are minor kind of gentry families that are too pale to be like people who live here long term, and maybe they've just journeyed down here for this party specifically. The Crown Duke Debiles and his wife and Gaspar, there's a couple of, and obviously they're kind of stewards, they're really the only people of very high ranking here. The rest of them are much more middle to lower. I would say your understanding of it, they're higher than, say, Aura's like father-in-law would be. But, you know, these people are the kinds that come to balls as a pastime. You know, even though this is one that's like this has never been done before, it's very much they're here to do the noble thing. They'll have some job on the side that they kind of rarely do. The rest of it's just socializing and connecting with other families. But yeah, I would say in terms of people, that's probably the summary. The odd people would be the Opari guy in attendance. The Lapidaris is a bit of an odd one, but they often move in noble circles because they deal within the gemstones. And in terms of the strangest of everything else, the decoration is weird, right? But it's kind of on theme. So there's weird symbols, the tapestry, the candles that are just like big lump candles on the floor. But other than that, you know, it's you've not really been to many things like this. You wouldn't have gone to noble events. No. So yeah. Okay, so obviously we've got Zeal. I know we've got to do him in a moment. What is the overall, like, what do you guys want to do? So I'd say in terms of the cooks and the scullery, your jobs, you're getting on with the job, and you think that your role is kind of winding down at this point.
I'll start making sweets then.
You could. I'm just saying, like, you can do what you want. You may have to do a check to try and get away if you wanted to leave, and the same with the scullery. You're probably easier to get away because you've got more free roam. But what is the aim for here, including the guard as well? What is it that you want to try and achieve in the next sort of between 10 minutes and an hour?
I'm probably just gonna try and sort of move around the hall and sort of not be as rigidly stuck to the post as other guards would be, and sort of try and get me and Clayton maybe about 40 or so feet from sort of Julien and the others' tables and that.
Sure, you could do that. You're going to be moving on to the atrium doorpost in a moment anyway, so you could just kind of mill around a bit.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Maybe do like spot checks on tickets of like shady people.
Okay.
It's just like as an excuse to move around a bit more.
Okay, cool. I'll put a pin in that. I'll come back to that in a moment. Rest of you guys, what is it that you want to do?
So at some points, sneak away. I need to also message Sentinel about Batista. But yeah, at some point, sneak away and I don't know, try and find either magical items which seem out of place, or
go loot them,
or go rifling. Try and like find like just papers and stuff, information.
Okay, sure. You would remember where the offices are as well from the last time. Okay, cool. We'll do that in a moment. And then the guests, I guess, we've got Zeal, so we'll have that in a moment. What did you want to do?
Did you say you wanted? Because if Moxie messages and tells me about Batista, I'd want to try and at a distance find him.
Okay, sure. Would you tell him that? Would you tell Sentinel that he's gone and you can't find him?
Did he just disappear?
He left the scullery and he's through the same entrance that you came in, and he was gone.
Oh, okay, yeah. And I'd say that I have made contact with Batista. Well, Batista made contact with me.
Okay.
Did I see like his mask and description?
Yes, he was wearing. I think he was wearing a full face piece, and black, kind of nondescript, smart suit. But he was not clean shaven. He had that kind of fuzz over his face and head.
Yeah, I mean, I'd let them know that he was
and
here.
Obviously, he had the result of the thing.
And he's in danger.
Okay.
It's up to them to decide.
Okay, sure. We'll do that in the Mo then when with Zeal as well.
Whether they can find.
Yeah. Okay. So you're going to be investigating as well and looking for stuff in the building, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you doing?
Getting drunk.
What more mayhem can we cause? Is there anything you want to do specifically?
So, the only things that I wanted to do at this point, because I'm starting to get a bit... My skin's itching a little bit and I don't like it. I don't like it here. So I wanted to try and see if I can find Batista and ask him some questions about what's happening. But other than that, I'm just kind of scouting. I had one piece of mischief, but like it could be the most dangerous piece of mischief I've ever done in my entire life.
I was considering that we could like dance really good in front of the table and try and get one of the...
You want to try and do some dancing with
I'm so good at dancing, I have so much experience.
Thankfully, there is a dance competition.
we can go dancing, and like as we talk about it, I really pointedly, because obviously now we've got the rings, and I don't know if she's wearing it, but I really pointedly think about taking Kaz dancing, and like when we used to go to like events like for a minute, and then I'm like, we can go dancing. Do you want to go dance?
Yeah, we should dance. And can we get like quite close to the big table?
To the table, yeah.
I mean, you can just go full face. You're in a full face mask.
You're wearing a full face mask, but you're not. Yeah, you are yourself, right? So okay. So what we'll say just quickly as a kind of roll a.
You don't have to. It's fine.
Roll a.
Elsewhere. It's fine.
I can go all the way up.
Actually, no, you wouldn't have seen Batista because you were at the water closet when it was happening.
Yep.
So, at a cursory glance, you can't see him in the ball in the same way that Moxie had lost him. So, sure, okay.
After we dance, I'd like to go to the bathroom as well, as long as this isn't a disaster.
The dancing, yeah. Okay, and you guys? Your kind of service isn't coming to an end, but you're in that stage where you're just kind of cranking through stuff. It's fading a little bit, especially for like the fish course.
Yeah. What I'd like to do is that while I'm doing this, keeping an ear out for stuff, but my main thing is I want to see if any of the servers are kind of accidentally leaving there, because they were given like a plain black eye mask, didn't they? Mm-hmm. I want to see if they're like leaving any, like if they've just left any to the side.
Nice.
Okay, roll a perception check. We'll start here, eh?
Do you want us to send you any drunk guests?
That's a natural 20. 20.
This is going too well.
We're so good at that.
Yeah, you find absolutely nothing. No, I'm joking. There are masks. Yeah.
So
there's a couple of them at the side. Maybe there's a bit with some food on. Someone has like splashed something on, they put it to the side, you got a new one.
Well, I'm going to find the cleanest one.
Okay, yeah, brush it off, it's fine.
But also what I would have done, because I never take my jacket off, I would have my chef whites over my jacket. So when I'm finished with fish, I'm going to excuse myself, go to the toilet, take my chef's whites off, put my jacket over the top of the chef's whites, because then I can interchange if I need to, and put the mask on, and I would like to go out and basically pretend I'm Freya and Sentinel's bodyguard.
I'm so obsessed with this.
Okay.
This is beautiful.
Eugene, what is your plan, and how would he react to this? Because
Make it sweeps.
Okay. Sounds good.
I just leave it to it.
I've got way too damage again.
You've got it.
I get it. No, I get it.
Up, do you want to leave him the sending stone then?
I wouldn't have thought to take it anyway.
Yeah.
I would like you to.
I've got way too into this, and I'm just like, Eugene just wants to cook and make sweets.
So a couple of checks. First of all, roll a sleight of hand check for the mask. It's a busy kitchen. Rorigan is around.
Oh.
You can hear him yelling at
it's a 16,
someone.
so 17.
Okay, he doesn't see you.
You hear him yelling at someone.
Yeah.
What's up?
As you move out, are you going to try and sneak so no one sees you? Are you going to try and just casually do it? What is it?
I'm casually going to the toilet.
Oh no.
Okay, roll a performance check.
I genuinely need to pee.
So you cannot tell me. Okay, right. Are you telling me Amaya actually needs to pee?
She has not been to the toilet since she arrived at the ball.
Since the beginning of the freaking campaign.
His character's going to the bathroom.
Okay, that's fair enough. Where are you going? We've got stuff that needs cooking.
I'm sorry for this in advance. It's my time of the month. I need to go to the toilet.
I'm not even going to roll for that.
He's like, oh god.
Oh god! Oh god!
Okay, I'll take your station for now. Take all the time you need. He starts chopping up.
Is he bright red?
Yeah. He gets the cactus, starts chopping up, same as you were doing.
Oh, he's the opposite of me now?
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's like the teacher when someone's really fucked their work on, the teacher needs to step in and you're there now and he's just looking over you. You getting on? All right?
Can I just say, it doesn't look like you're chopping behind that screen.
You just see my mage hand just stop from mid-chop.
Don't mind me,
I thought about it, and I believe it would take roughly 2.3 kilograms to kill a small child with sugar.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You said that you didn't want to kill any children, and I just thought that was a weird thought experiment. I wouldn't kill any children with sugar, of course. Why would you do that? But I don't know, roughly 2,500 jelly beans might do it.
Okay. You don't live with children, do you? Okay, good. Goes and chopping the cactus. Jesus. Okay, you make your way to the water closet.
Yes.
Okay. It is. Yeah, it's a very posh. There's carpet everywhere. There's a cloth covering over this wooden chair with a hole in the middle.
It's the most uncomfortable wee ever sitting on carpet.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Basically just swap round the direction that I have my chef's whites in my jacket. So my chef's whites are hidden under my jacket. Put the mask on.
Cool.
Go be a bodyguard.
And you, all of your weapons and shit are still in...
We have the long
Freya
sword.
has my sword.
Okay, yes, that's right, yes. Cool, so you make your way out. Actually, at this point, Aura is on the atrium entrance. So you see Aura and Clayton on the door as you walk in.
When I see Clayton, I'm like, so.
All right.
You all right?
All right.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah. Bye.
You look good.
I just give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, that's it. He looks Aura out of his eye, corner of his eye.
Steamy exchange.
That was hot.
Now kiss!
Okay. So you go. You approach.
We've had a slow burn romance for several episodes, but that was the hot bit.
Yeah.
Okay, you.
Short racing this episode.
So you go over to.
It's like they're dating in real life.
You go over to Freya and Sentinel as they're like a younger kind of rougher looking guy walks off towards the stage. So the guy that you were just convincing, and so with that we will go to. I guess we'll do the Zeal bit first, and then we'll come back. So.
Oh, small boy.
He actually.
What are you gonna say for me, Bob?
Moxie, you've got. Actually, we'll come to you first because you haven't done anything. So you swap round the rags. You look out. You take another glance outside into the hall. It looks like there's not any spillages. There is one other girl out there cleaning some stuff up, but now could be a time where you could dip out. So whereabouts are you going to go? Are you changing?
No, I'm not going to change. Just be like, yeah. If someone asks any questions, I'll have responses.
Okay. Okay. So you know rather rough layout. You remember that in terms of the offices, they're upstairs. They're up one floor, but you also. That you went up the main atrium stairways when you came into Mr. Yule's offices or office and the waiting room. So if you were to go that way, you would be out in the open. There was a stairwell on the inside, a scullery stairwell, but you don't know where that goes. But you can. There are options. So where would you like to go? What would you like to look for?
So I'd like to find sort of like somewhere out of the way, and. Yeah, I want to make sure no one can see me. I'm going to do just normal cast detect magic.
Okay, you're in the corridor, the scullery little corridor that goes, like the steep steps actually go up and over one of the doors in the atrium, and then down again. You're in the wall. You're quite alone in there. It's cobwebbed and quiet. So yeah, you could cast detect magic in there.
Yeah. From the map that Aura had, like, can I tell that if the scullery corner bit will it go in that direction?
Roll an intelligence check.
18.
Yeah, so from your quick glance at the fractions of the map that you saw, because I don't think you got the whole piece initially, you can see that with your knowledge of where the scullery corridor goes through the main wall in the middle of the atrium, and up and over a big doorway, and then to the scullery stairwell that's actually near the kitchens, and it goes up to where you think where the offices are probably going to be, because they're on that left side of the mansion. So you think if you were to go up to the top there, you'd have to avoid Delilah, Mistress Delilah maybe, and some other people, but you could potentially find a way out up there that would then take you out onto the upper floor. So yeah, you understand that's where you are at the moment. You're inside the wall where the atrium is. So if you're facing with your back to the ball, your left would be the entrance to the building where the ticket holder guy was, and your right would be out to the back gardens kind of thing, so through another hall and then to the back gardens.
And I guess I'll try and go the way you described. Okay. Yeah.
All right, so you make your way towards the staircase and you make your way up. Delilah's walking around up there. She's speaking to some scullery maids. One of them's there with like a cut on their hand. She's like wrapping that up quickly, just dealing with lots of different people. Do you say anything?
No. Okay. Just try.
Okay. Roll stealth check.
Cool.
Good mouse mode.
No.
Say 5.
Okay, yeah. So, what was the name that she has for you?
I think she would just be my Moxie.
She's Moxie. Yeah. But she's got so many people. Actually, she probably. Excuse me. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just getting some more rags.
Okay. Well, they're down at the bottom and she points to where you know they are. We haven't actually said where they are yet, so we'll say there's a few different spots, and she just points you to one without any suspicion.
Oh, okay, sorry, in a big place. I got a bit lost.
That's all right, dear. I would roll a deception check, though.
Okay, deception 15.
Nice. Yeah, she's busying herself with this person with a little cut on their hand and just bandaging it up. Okay, so when you're at the top of the stairs, there are 2 directions you could go. Left, which if you were oriented right, you think you're probably already on the left side of the mansion, which is where the offices are. And right would take you back towards the middle of the first floor.
Sorry, I zoned up for a sec. Where was left?
Sorry. So you're at the top of the stairs with Delilah.
Mm-hmm.
Left would take you further in the left direction, which is where you think the offices are on the upper floor. And then right would take you back, probably towards the landing, actually, in the middle of the house. But you're obviously on the floor up now. So it may take you towards, in a wall towards the top of the stairs, or the left one might take you somewhere in the left side of the building where you remember the offices being.
Okay, and she's clocked me now. Yeah.
She's kind of milling though. She's at the top of the stairs. She's going up and down. She's speaking to others. She doesn't suspect you.
Right, okay.
Or at least you don't think she does.
Okay. I guess before, like I did say, I'd done detect magic when nothing's pinging yet, is it?
No, not in here. What's the range?
I think it's like 30 feet or something like that. Yeah, it's 30 feet, yeah.
I would say that it doesn't go through. Is it how much stone does it go through?
1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood / dirt.
I would say that this is a very well-built house. The walls are, you would think, probably thicker than a foot, if not about a foot thick. So in the scullery corridor, there's nothing magic, and you don't see anything on any of the people.
Cool. So she's preoccupied, yeah.
Yeah.
With people. Okay.
There's a basket of rags up on where you are, and you could potentially leave at this point, but you'd have to sneak away probably.
Yeah, let's try and sneak again.
Okay.
Different.
Where are you going to head for? Offices or the
offices.
landing? Okay, cool. Stay on the left.
Okay, 11 this time.
Okay. Just check her passive.
Moxie's gonna die. No one's gonna know.
Okay. 11. So you quickly shoot off to the left-hand side, and you're gone down the corridor before you hear anything. Mm-hmm. There's kind of that feeling of someone on your heels for a moment. It narrows very quickly, and you kind of start walking through again. It's literally 2 feet wide between 2 walls, and you don't hear anything. You don't see anyone coming after you or anything like that.
Okay.
Okay. Roll an investigation check for just a way out, if that's what you're looking for.
10.
Oh god.
It takes you about 5 minutes or so. You're walking up and down the wall. It's very dim in here. Some of the torches haven't been lit properly. You're getting a feeling that they weren't expecting people to be over here at this point. After 5 minutes, you find a false handle in the wall that you've had to backtrack a bit. It's similar to the one that leads out into the ball, and you recognise it. It's like a little plank of wood, or just like a very cheap made handle. You slot it down, and the door opens and hisses across very, very rich carpet, and you're out on the corridor that you recognise from when you came in looking for the officers. So the door is made part of the wall and built in to be hidden from, people don't want to see where the servants go. And there are a number of doors around you.
Mm-hmm.
Just... There it is. Oh, sorry, I've lost my... It's odd.
Oh, I've still got about another 5 minutes of detect magic.
I found it, it's fine. Yes, so as you step through and you're looking at this door, it's actually made of wood, this door. So I would say... No, it's... You think that you get a glimpse of something. as you're moving around. But because the walls are all made of stone, you're only able to see something through line of sight where the doors are. So it's like you can see through the doors, but you can't see through the walls.
Yeah.
So it's kind of difficult. And there are a number of locked doors. There are 3 in front of you. One of the doors at the end of it is open, ajar, and there are.
That's a door.
One of them, the closed doors, you recognise, and you think is Mr. Yule's office that you went in when he gave you the jobs and the clothes and everything. Then there is another door which is a little bit more well made. It's carved nicely. It's very heavy wood. So you have door on the end that's ajar, a plain locked door, another plain locked door that you think might be the Mr. Yule's office, and then you have a much more opulent looking door that's also shut.
Okay. I mean, so this door that's ajar. Yeah. Actually, no. Before I don't get any magic. I don't feel any magic.
If you walk ahead, you poke your head out the doors in the next 5 minutes quickly, almost like just looking at the door. The opulent door has got a strong magic. There's something in there that's magic.
Massive one. Yeah.
I would say so. Yes.
Cool.
And it is a white glow of. Actually, no, I can't remember what colour it is, but it's transmutation.
Cool. Right.
A combination of transmutation and divination, I would say. Oh, actually, no. There's more. There is also a tangle of lights actually on this one. You have
all the same door.
Yes, you have transmutation, you have divination, and then below it you have a tangled web below it of fuck me, what's it called? It's on the tip of my tongue.
Evocation.
Abjuration. It's abjuration.
Cool.
Necromancy.
Okay, good to know. So that's the fun door.
Okay. So what are you doing?
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Let's go. So am I? I'm not in an office.
You're in the corridor at the moment. So if you look down to your right, you can see the top of the stairs about 50 feet away. You can hear the low mutter of the noise of the ball coming through the atrium door, bouncing around the atrium and coming down here ever so slightly. But the thick carpets, there's some tapestry on the wall, there's curtains, it's all absorbing it. But you can hear the ball off far away. People talking in the atrium as well.
Cool. I'll try and get her to do a little perception check to make sure there's no one around.
Sure. Okay. Roll perception.
Okay. 15.
There's no one up here at the moment. You can see all the way to the other end of the corridor on this floor, and there's no one around.
Cool.
It's eerily quiet.
Let's try and go in this door that's ajar.
The ajar door at the end. Yeah, sure.
That's in that room.
That is. You open the door. It's almost like stepping in to an undecorated version of the house. There's a small. There are about 3 small beds up against the wall. There's a chest. There's some candles that are unlit. This looks like it could be servants' bedrooms, maybe, or at least a guest's room that's not particularly nice.
See if the chest. See if that's.
Is it
locked?
It is locked, yeah. But you're not getting anything. You didn't get anything when you looked in on your initial detect magic. I know it's probably gone now.
Yeah.
But there was nothing that flickered up initially.
Cool. Which was the one that I thought was Thingy's office?
The next one.
Yeah. Is that? Can I try and open the door?
It's locked.
It is locked. That's annoying.
And just for the sake of brevity, the other 3 are locked. Yeah.
As well. Cool. I have no tools.
Probably should have given you those, shouldn't we?
Don't you know the wizard is the rogue of the party?
Do these doors have keyholes?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You got a knock?
No, I have Misty Step.
Okay.
And
as long as you can
so if I can see the
where
point,
you're going.
I can bamf into the room.
Okay, which door are you going to look through?
Yeah, I can only do this. I can only really do this for one room. That's the problem.
Get
They might have the keys.
I can get out. I can get out, but then I can only. That's the thing I can do. I can go into one room. Oh yes.
You might be able to. They might not have the keys on them.
Yeah.
If there is keys in them, then you won't be able to see through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel like there might be keys in the room.
So there's Yule's office.
If you were to look through all of the keyholes, you have Yule's office. You recognise it. Thick curtains, big desk. The next one is the waiting room that you all sat in, with benches, and the opulent one at the end is a massive office with a huge 15-foot long, 6 feet deep desk. It looks clean. There's nothing on the desk, but actually you probably can't see that much through it. You can see a slice of this desk, but it looks very.
Maybe there's a body in it.
But yeah, it's big enough. That's big enough for people.
I have. No, I don't have the scroll with me. I can't hold it. So it's those 3 doors. Those are 3 doors.
Yes.
Everyone.
How about that dust is
A round of
All
those.
together now.
Seen expensive things. What are you gonna do?
It's,
Go on, go which level one you want. I'm not going to try to
Into the waiting
You gotta
room.
do that.
That was the wrong choice.
Whoa! Not that face.
It's
He
fine.
went.
You would. What's your passive perception? 11.
Oh, for God's
9.
Solid.
I did do a check earlier, which was a 15.
Yeah, and I think because it's so quiet, I'll say you hear someone on the tiles of the stairs to your right. So you there is someone ascending the stairs.
Cool. Let's bump into Yule's office then.
Into the smaller office.
Yes.
Okay, you bamf in. What does it look like?
So I just sort of shimmer into mist and then just sort of gets sucked through the keyhole.
Nice.
Really here.
You spat out into the office. You kind of lurch onto the desk. Actually, that's a point. No, I won't make you roll stealth. It's not part of the spell. But you're standing motionless in the room.
Cool. Yeah, let's now let us
Pray.
let's look around in his office. Yeah, look through his drawer, look through the desk drawers, look for a key as well potentially.
Okay. Roll an investigation check, please.
Oh,
Fuck off.
dude.
12.
Oh, but you do have a passive investigation that's much higher.
You, I tell you what, you can take 10 if you like, and I will allow you to. I mean, technically, I should let you succeed, but it's not an easy DC. So I'll let you roll once more, as though it were with advantage, if you want to take 10 minutes.
Yes. What do I?
You do you want? You're a strong, puff woman.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
Okay.
So advantage. Yeah. That's better. 24.
Very nice. Okay, during that 10
My
minutes,
whole life just flashed before my eyes.
it's a bit of a mess. You remember that from when you were here last time. There's thick, heavy curtains in here, like it's absurdly warm, even though it's still late. It's getting late even. And actually out the window, you start seeing the light of Geish is taking up most of is the most bright light in the sky. You can see the grounds outside, the brown floor. You kind of peek out the window, you see the brown mossy kind of lawn. And you turn to the desk, you start rummaging. You expect the drawers to be locked, but actually they're not. You open the top drawer, you rummage through, and as you're rummaging the 24, you feel the bottom of this drawer is definitely, it just doesn't feel right. It feels cheap, like compared to the quality of the desk. So you tip everything out, and there is. You take, what have you got on you? You haven't got a knife or anything, have you?
No, you see that in the scene.
Yeah. You take a letter opener off of his desk, just this long, thin bit of metal, and you just slide it down the bottom of the drawer and just lever it back, and it just pops open. And inside that is hinged, and inside there is a ring of keys.
Ooh, I like this.
Thank you, God.
And during that 10 minutes, you hear someone walking around. So I would like you to make a stealth check, please.
Fuck.
Oh, it's your best thing.
Oh!
That's not great.
Oh!
That's a 7.
Okay. Yeah. So as you pop open the secret, you've been really quiet, and as you pop open the little hidden, the false back, it goes clunk, and it pops up and just hits the sound of wood on wood, and you hear the footsteps like that. Yeah.
Nice.
And you hear the footsteps stop outside, and then they walk up to the door, soft padding on the carpet, and you can see the shadow in at the bottom of the door, and the creaking of someone leaning on the door.
Can I
Try.
Can I quickly cast invisibility on myself?
Okay, sure. Okay, yeah. As you cast invisibility, the light that's coming in from the keyhole goes dark, and he's just standing there motionless. This person's you hear the breath through the keyhole, and
another stealth check.
No. I was rolling to see whether or not they would investigate, and they move away from the door after a couple 30 seconds. Hear them padding off down the corridor. And that's it.
Did they open the?
Nope.
They didn't open it.
They just looked through what you think they might have looked through the keyhole. Maybe they were leaning on the door. The light was covered through the keyhole.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm invisible now for the next hour.
Okay. Very nice.
The fact that you waited so long to cast that.
Yeah, but I don't. If it drops, I cast spells. So I've got.
Okay. What's the plan?
Okay, so there's nothing. I just found the keys. Nothing else. No important. No useful incriminating documents or anything like that.
Not in here, but you do find in the same secret compartment a purse with 100 gold in it.
Nice.
Well, she's not going to tell us about that.
Moxie spends no money. She spends all of Sentinel's money and is rich.
She's going to spend that on paper.
I mean, that is very tempting. But
No, take it. It's up to you. It's up to you, and I'm going to judge you if you don't.
What are you doing?
so this is Jules' money, clearly.
It's in his office in his secret drawer.
Funny, he's good. Fuck. Yeah, let's take it.
Okay. Take the money.
It's your morals now.
Yeah,
Do you,
it's expensive lifestyle.
do you leave it as it is?
I mean, yeah, I'll put everything.
Cool. You put everything back as was.
Yeah, but
Okay.
actually, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to leave the money.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
going to leave the money, but everything back. Yeah.
You just keep picking it up and you don't.
Puts everything back.
Jingle, jingle, jingle.
Under the roof.
Okay.
Okay, so I got the keys.
Yep.
I'm invisible. Let's try and open. Let's try the. Wait, let's just look. I've got an hour while I'm invisible. Let's still look the waiting room first as well.
Okay, so you open the door with a key. So you unlock the office door. He's got a few keys on there, and you find the right one eventually. You move out. There's no one in the corridor. The waiting room. You open the door. It is as it was. It's empty. It's a little bit less well kept than the rest. Are you going to spend time looking through it, or
Can I do it? I don't want a quick I don't want to spend 10 minutes on it. So
No.
just do a.
yeah? You just have an investigation check if you like.
15.
Yeah, I mean, you spend about 20 minutes in here before the thing really catches your eye. Some sort of busts of random nobles on stands, and there's not much else.
Cool. Okay. Then let's try. So this opulent door, does it have a key hole on it?
It does.
Let's try this.
Okay, so you cycle through the keys. You find one that fits, and you open the door. It unlocks. It opens. It's a very heavy door, carvings all over it.
Oh my gosh.
And you open the door into this huge room. This 15-foot desk. It's about 6 feet deep. A soft leather top. There's a spark lamp, which you may know. They're powered by coil shards. Very wasteful, and they're like a candle that just continually burns. Similar to the Bunsen's that Eugene has used. and before this huge window that's letting in all of this mauve moonlight is a glass cabinet, which you think is where the magic aura was coming from. And
Wait, there's a magic aura?
the glass cabinet itself is a cube. It's about 2 foot, doorless cube set on top of a black carved wooden stand. Within this cabinet, this cube, is an assembled number of small coilstones and coil shards in forming a shape about 1 foot in diameter. Each piece is individually held by a nearly invisible wire, and they're hanging there like this impossibly complex puzzle, and it takes the shape of this giant twisted seed with glassy filaments coiling around in fractal shapes and spooling out from the core like blood vessels.
Can I do like an Arcana check or something? Like this reminds me of like, I don't know, like the entanglement or...
Sure, so your door is open, by the way.
Yeah.
So...
the door is open. I don't have to detect magic anymore, do I? And can I just see it from...
As in the door to the office is open, is what I was saying.
Door to...
You've just opened the door.
So
and
if someone came up, they would
s-
see the door that was open.
Yeah, you haven't stepped into the office yet. I was just
Yes,
telling you, you opened the door, you looked in, that's what you saw.
Yeah, that's what I'm... Yeah. Can I also... I mean, I've already opened the door, so I've probably already triggered anything that's already...
What I would say is the abjuration was it was around the same area.
Oh, so it wasn't like over the door?
It wasn't at the door, no. It was
Right.
all under the same area. So there was a tangle of divine and transmutation, and then sort of beneath it there was abjuration.
Okay, that's what I was worried about. Okay, cool. Then I will go into the room and close the door carefully behind me.
Okay, yeah. It clicks shut. Nothing happens.
Okay.
And you wanted to roll... okay, so roll an Arcana check if you're looking at this thing.
Yeah. 19.
Okay, yeah. These are coilstones and coil shards. Every single one of them. And as you look at this, you've only ever heard of these being used as stores of value and fuel for artificing. And it is news to you that you can piece them together into a shape like this. You know, it makes sense that ores and crystals, they obviously all set somewhere, they're created in a setting, but to be able to find them and piece them together into something, it's very strange. It looks like a seed, like a giant seed that's kind of twisted. And when you look at the larger pieces that are near the center, within them, these coilstones, they have these fractal shapes that are coiling, and they're very complex and beautiful, and it looks like a part of something bigger if you were to squint your eyes, but from your reading, you're not sure what it could be representing.
Is there anything else in this room? It's like a desk with...
Yeah, it's very well sort of maintained. It's very clean. There's not... It's literally just a desk with a blank note, like, book on it. It's like it's been set out for him, maybe. This is definitely not a very well used office.
Okay. Just a blank book. Does it say nothing?
No, if you were to flick it over, it would says the house name on it. It's papers basically, and there's a very lovely quill, an ink pot ready to be used, but nothing else.
Okay. Yeah. No. Can't. Yeah.
While you're thinking about
Yes.
it.
Yeah. Come back to me. Yeah.
So, Zeal comes back to you guys as you're debating dancing.
What have you got for me, bud?
He pads over.
Invisible.
He's like, this is busy and it's noisy over there with the band. They're quite good, but noisy. I found it very hard to concentrate. And quite frankly, I forgot what you were asking me.
Oh my god.
Well, I looked at the symbols and I don't know any of them. They just look like squiggles.
But you're supposed to be real smart, bud. This is obviously all telepathic, right?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I know.
So rude.
I know I am, but and thank you. But I mean, what I would say is, and I will roll for him.
Oh, that's my boy. That's my sweet little squirrel.
Hey, you rolled that 20.
That's my boy.
Look,
you can have a good jerky.
Obviously, my master, Enigmore, is a master of seals, and that's his thing. And I've obviously had my fair share of it. And I would say there's a mixture of them. I mean, the ones on the wall, half of them are gibberish. I've never seen that.
Only
before.
half of them are gibberish.
Well, some of them might be real, but it looks like someone's just copied them, in isolation from something. The ones on the stage, there's a little more coherence to them, but they're very old if they are real. I don't like them. Let's put it that way. It just reeks of kind of old, unwieldy magic. None of the new stuff that you lot kind of jolly about with.
Jolly about.
But I would say that a lot of it, on the points of the walls, is just rubbish. But the stage, maybe, it's got something about it that looks a little bit more professional. But other than that,
does anyone have the notes on what the book was? I just have that the book that they had was esoteric. Do we know what was in the book that they stole?
Oh, yeah. It was... I did write that down. It says somewhere.
And there was
It
also
the
a
Blood of
theft from what was the other
Apotheosis,
one
right?
that we know for sure?
The one they stole.
Blood of Apotheosis, yeah.
Yeah.
What was that, sorry?
What was the other... Which other guild had stuff stolen from them that we know for sure?
The Lapidarists. D, the PI, told you that they lost. They got their prize. He said their prize coilstone was stolen, like a big one.
Yeah, so coilstone was stolen, the book was stolen, tapestry was stolen.
Because what if that book was a fucking spell book?
I mean, it's the Blood of Apotheosis, which is the elevation of someone to divine status. That's what that means. And it was like a copy of a super old Signar book.
What colour was the other sigils on the floor?
The ones around the place is kind of a mix of black and red.
But what?
On the floor, they're a mix of black and red as well. It looks like paint. He would tell you that, made of paint. At least, I don't know. It's been drawn on the floor with something. I don't know. What is this all about? It's just a rubbish, tacky.
Yeah, but what if it's not?
I don't. What do you mean?
Why are these people here? They shouldn't be at an event like this. Why is Julien here? He shouldn't be at an event like this. I don't like it.
Well, me either. But I'm.
You're a solitary squirrel. You would
bit of
like
an
it if it was annoying.
agoraphobic. Yeah. Well. And he hops onto your shoulder. How long is he invisible? An hour?
He's invisible for an hour, but he's like, then he goes back
Yeah.
into the thing. He's just not out for the rest of the day. I can't use him as a
I'll happily hang about, but I'm not sure how much more help I can be.
No, me neither. Thanks, bud.
He just kind of clings to your shoulder for a bit. Okay, so you guys are going to go and dance, is that right?
Yeah.
Before we do that, can we sidle over to like a maitre d' and just
Oh, yeah.
ask what like the schedule
Is
for
there
the
like
evening?
I'm now following
Oh
you.
yeah, Amira's with you as well. Okay, yeah. So you go over to the maitre d'.
Do you want to give her a sword back so she looks like her?
No, keep it.
Okay.
No, just
okay.
keep it for now.
You can just pull it.
He's a large human man, curly blonde hair, and he looks a little bit tired now. Actually, he's been there for a few hours. Hello, how can I help you?
Yes, we were just wondering what the schedule for the evening is.
Oh, quite. It's a very fluid affair. We will have some kind of speeches, I'm sure, in a little time. But other than that, the band will be here all night. Food will be continuing to flow out, as well as the drinks. I do believe that we have some speeches as the only real solid schedule, but those will be at the pleasure of the host whenever they choose to take to the stage.
Wonderful. I love a flexible event like this.
Oh, yes, quite. Is there anything else I can help with?
Don't believe so. Thank you so much.
Which way is the bathroom?
The water closets, and they point you out towards where you know they are.
Thank you. I give him a copper.
A copper.
Okay.
He's like, okay, thank you.
I don't understand currency.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite rich of you, I guess.
To a
Yeah.
rich person.
He's
Dunno.
probably not super rich,
No.
to be fair.
He takes it, pockets it.
Alright. Cool,
I
should we
whisper
dance? Oh,
before you go off to dance. Sounds like some kind of ritual. Maybe some speeches at the end.
No, it sounds like the speeches might be the ritual.
Exactly. Because they wouldn't do it at the start of the party.
No, they'd want to do it later on. They'd want to make
They're
sure.
trying to chill everyone out with good food and drink.
Always works.
It does.
It's working. Great pie.
And
You
do
get the-
you know dance? I'll stand around the edge, like hands clasped in front of me, like bouncer style.
Nice, I like it.
Roll a performance check, because you do look out of place. Everyone's dressed up very nicely, and you're wearing your normal jacket. So.
And we don't have a ticket for you.
Yeah, that's the point.
But Aura can spot check.
That's true.
Or it was just about to spot check.
You're right near them, actually. You're at the end. You're at the
Or he's just going to appear behind you.
Yes.
It's a 10.
Okay. Are you going to help Aura?
Yeah, I'm gonna go over.
Clayton can't help, he's too busy flirting.
What are you? How are you helping her?
I'm just gonna.
Can I slip a ticket into my pocket?
Yes, they're named. You would know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's...
Sure. Okay. Roll a sleight of hand check. The maitre d' is kind of looking at you both.
Do I have
Recognises-
pockets?
I don't know. It's up to you.
He what?
Your jacket, mate.
He what? Thought you said
He's
he
glancing over you two. He recognises you. He announced you.
Yeah, straight up.
But we sort of nudged away from them at this point, right? I got 10.
10. Okay. Yeah. He. I mean, his passive is a 9. So you slip the ticket into Amaya's pocket. Your coin.
Thanks.
Sorry, I didn't recognise you. He asks you.
I don't recognise you.
Oh,
No,
that's
you.
odd,
This
'cause-
is our bodyguard. We didn't get you to introduce her because she's
I'm very forgettable.
very forgetful.
Okay.
It's in the job, you see.
Yeah, roll a deception check. And roll with advantage, because they're helping you. And Aura's, I guess, everyone's
16
helping.
plus 6. 20.
Fair enough. Quite, of course.
Thank you so much.
You still have a sword, though, so that's a little confusing, but that was good enough that you would just get over it. Quite. Jolly good.
Thank you so much. Dance, my lady!
You whisk off. You've still got a sword on.
spin away from
Like,
Okay.
literally, I've done this before. I've had people being like, are you sure you're legally allowed to drink? Ah, yes, of course. I'm used to
Okay.
sneaking away from important people at these kind of events.
So you guys are going to dance in front of the two tables.
We don't know if we should do that. Should we do that?
Hey, it gets us closer to the front to see if we can get a better look at
We want to look at the stage,
the
right?
stage and the tapestry.
Okay, so you're not going to be dancing very over the top to get the attention. It's more just an excuse to.
No.
Okay, all right, yeah. So roll performance checks, both of you, please.
Do the
Can I
dirty
have-
dancing lift.
Can I have advantage from having done this for many years?
Which dice should I use?
You
I'm
can.
so scared.
Thank you.
I would also. So the music is a combination of woodwind instruments. There's a dulcimer, so there's like that hammered piano sound, very metallic and.
That's a 18.
13?
Okay. Yeah, you move across the dance floor. There's a couple of other people who are kind of rocking, or they're doing the very noble kind of steps. And you make your way over to the band. They're quite loud when you're this close, and you can see over the stage. It's only about 5 foot off the ground, and you see this circle at the foot of this massive tapestry that's covering most of the window. You see this circle sigils around the edges, and in black and red.
Can I look at the tapestry because I haven't looked at it yet?
You may roll an investigation check.
My investigation. How be perception?
Sure. I guess you're not really deducing anything. You're just looking at it.
Looking, just perceiving
You're
it.
just perceiving.
Actively looking.
Oh, that's 26.
Okay. So, you don't know anything about it, but what it looks like is it's depicting the world as a flat disc. I think I said this.
Oh,
Yeah.
flat earth.
Yeah.
Sake.
Which is a very old esoteric belief. And below it are thrashing fiends, burning devils, and above it is a towering forest of white trees made from silvery chains, and the chains actually spill out over the clouds down towards the ground. And on the disc is a city, burned and toppled, and tiny. Yeah, and tiny on a. It's very small on this flat disc. Is on a flat stone plain amid a wasteland. There is a hovering figure, and from where you are, then they're probably on the tapestry no bigger than your finger, maybe smaller, and they're hovering this figure, and they're surrounded by thousands of people kneeling around them. I would say, because you rolled so high on persuasion, roll a history check, just to see if anything comes to mind.
12.
Damn, that's annoying. I don't think you would. You wouldn't know. It's an old ass tapestry. Might be depicting
An ass tapestry.
an old ass tapestry. It might be. It may depict something from the Age of Ascension or something from maybe the Graven Crisis, but it's very vague. It's it's an art piece. So.
Okay.
We want that tapestry to stay up, or do we maybe want to make it fall?
Can we...
Just dancing.
Can I take a look at the thing on the floor real quick?
The symbols.
Yeah.
Sure.
I also had a
yes.
question about those if we're looking at those.
Yeah.
I'll keep your same perception check. So
I
you
also have a roll perception.
did you already roll for it?
Not for that one.
Okay, roll perception checks.
You didn't get that close to the tapestry before either. So.
No,
No.
I didn't roll that good on my perception, but I had a specific question about it
Sure.
in a minute. When
Where did you see? No, I can't say because I might give stuff away. So what was your question?
does the pattern on the floor look, I might have asked this last time, but I can't remember. Does it look anything like what we saw on the boat?
Roll an intelligence check.
I was gonna ask that too.
Roll an intelligence check. Or Arcana maybe, if you're proficient and you got a better roll on it.
It's the same for me. It's 14.
You are with them maybe, but you'd have to dance maybe, or just walk near them.
Can I side around the edge? But basically after them, I just want to know if I can hear my sword ringing.
Okay.
Oh.
5.
Oh,
Fuck, what did I get?
Arcana.
14, I think it was.
It looks similar maybe,
Fuck.
but you can't read the symbols. It's a circle of symbols. They look old, and you don't have any experience in sigilism like Moxie or Eugene, so it's hard to say.
Get them here!
14 is possible.
A what?
With a 14, I would say it's possible that they bear some kind of similarity.
Oh.
And Maya, to answer your question, no, your sword is not ringing right now. And I'm assuming that you've taken it off of Freya now.
No, I said to Frey to keep it on because that would be too suspicious to the Okari dude.
Okay. I mean, yeah, neither of you feel it or hear it.
The ritual hasn't happened yet.
What?
Once it does happen.
This is the problem.
Okay. So, Eugene.
Making sweets.
Yeah. I'd say at this point, Rorigan's getting a little bit pissed. He's like,
You said I was always finished with the fish course though, so that's when I left. When I was almost
you
finished.
said you were going to the loo.
Yeah, when I was almost finished, so he wouldn't have had that much extra to
He's
do.
doing your job for you at the moment.
He doesn't know how in depth.
It's
that
true.
time with the monsters.
He's just like.
Exactly.
Are you just going to continue making sweets?
Yeah.
What sweets are you making?
I want to make some jelly sweets.
2,500 jelly beans.
I want to make some jelly sweets, but with any sort of like leftover bits of scraps that have been used. So like maybe, did you have some chili in your salad, in your cactus salad? So I'll maybe grab some chili. I might grab, why not? I'm going to grab some cactus as well. I want to make cactus and chili sweets.
Cool, boiled sweets.
They're like almost like gummy jelly sweets.
Cool, yeah, nice. So you're, at the moment, you're extracting all the flavour you can from the chilies, from the cactuses. I guess mixing it with
Like
sugar.
not being stealthy at all. Like just take this rather doing what I should be doing.
I think he seems okay with that. There's a lot of chocolate puddings that have gone out. Some of it's coming back now. Kind of half people have taken bites out of it. You know, it's like a big rotation of stuff.
Are you going to take them out and ask why people haven't finished them?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. He's going to get on as well. It's calming down a bit. There's a few people who are like actually cleaning up their stations at this point.
Chef, would you like to try some sweets?
Go on then.
So this is cactus and chili flavour. I've never done anything quite like this before.
Okay.
I don't know if it will work, but it worked as part of the fish course, so maybe in jelly form.
Do you want me to roll for anything?
It's up to you. Just does he like it?
I'll roll a percentile to see if he actually likes it.
What salt?
Are they well made in your opinion?
He throws up.
Yeah, I mean he's done it sort of like perhaps a little bit more slapdash than usual, but he's still relatively happy with them.
Yeah. That's actually quite good. Did you tell him that you were like this is what you did?
Yeah, I said I was a developmental chef. But I didn't say like
well,
a sweet shop, but
it's just an interesting taste. The cactus and the chili isn't lost.
Oh, thank you. Shall we send these out to the?
Oh God, no.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely not. No, this does not fit with the menu at all. But I'll have some more pics of them.
I mean, I can make these magical if you wanted to.
Right. In what way?
Well, at my previous job, I used to make magical sweets. So I can make them have effects when you chew them. So maybe you can breathe out like a fake sort of colourful fire. I can get them to change how your voice speaks.
And wants to work here now. She's like, I'm done.
That's an interesting business.
I can make jumping jelly beans. All sorts really.
Whereabouts is this business that you work for?
He gets a little bit sort of like, I don't know if I should say, Baraxis. It's a small little village near the capital.
Oh right, that's far away. Why are you down here?
Just with friends.
Okay, roll a deception check.
It's true.
All right, I'll do that.
Oh, we not.
Maybe I would say
Why you're here?
Maybe I would say we're friends, but the Alchemy Guild sent me over here.
Oh, okay. Down into Dustmere. They've sent you.
Yes.
And you're not on business with them now?
I just wanted to come over here and do some cooking. I haven't been in a professional kitchen in a few years.
Oh, right. Well,
It's
I'll
nice to be
remember
back.
Baraxis. It's I often end up heading to the capital, so I will stop there and I will help myself to...
You don't need to stop there. That's fine.
Why not? It sounds lovely.
But yes, it is. But
Good, then it's... I'll put it on the list.
Oh, okay.
Do you not want
Lovely.
me to just... okay. Are you being... he's getting a vibe from you, so... What's his... Have I offended you?
No, not at all. No, just as a business, just been going through a bit of a rough time, and
Oh, I see. That's why you left, I assume.
sure.
Okay.
Why not?
Fucking hell.
Yeah, as he went prime. Okay, so Aura, you were making your way around the hall at this point with Clayton. I would say over your period of kind of 10 minutes to half an hour that all of this has been going on, just roll a perception check for me.
I'm blind.
Apparently so.
Genuinely.
Actually, roll with an advantage because Clayton,
You lucky boy.
Clayton's helping you, so...
So it was a 2.
3.
It was better.
Hey!
It was better.
Is it a 3?
No. It's a 5. 6 total.
Oh my god.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah, you don't really... You're very distracted.
You're the worst guard.
You're very distracted. I guess maybe you've just got your eyes fixed on the nobles and you're waiting for them to do something, maybe, or
I'm also waiting to do something.
suspicious. Okay, what would you like to do?
Fireball.
People are milling. Freya and Sentinel are dancing in band.
Then, sort of, where's Julien looking like at the moment?
He's sat at the table with in between the Lapidaris, and he's talking to the Opari guy.
So how close am I?
You're probably about 30 feet away.
I'm going to position myself the other side of Clayton. And I'm going to cast message.
Okay.
This is still not good.
Okay.
Boring.
Do you know that's Julien? I don't think
I assume we would have been given a description of, like, if we were here to kill him.
he's wearing a full face mask.
Yeah, but he has got that very distinctive shorn,
Broken horn.
broken
Sure,
horn.
I'll give you that. Go on then.
Well, I say Master would be impressed.
Wait, what?
No,
Master would be impressed, you said?
Yeah.
He doesn't react.
At all?
No.
Okay.
Does he can reply, right?
Yeah, he can.
Is message telepathic, or do you speak it? I think you speak it.
Whisper. No,
Yeah.
you
Oh.
whisper.
Oh, fair enough.
So
'Cause I was like,
I'm
it's
like
a
facing Clayton as if I'm talking to Clayton.
Clayton's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And then I'll just let him just go with it. And then like look off at, and then I'll point off at someone else in the crowd and that.
Okay. You, out the corner of your eye, you see him lifting a drink to his, in between conversations, he lifts a drink to his mouth. And in the moment where he's between sips, you hear him say, interesting.
No idea.
And that's it.
I see he was right to put his faith in you.
Okay.
Yeah, because at this point you don't even know about the labyrinthine.
He puts the drink down, looks around. He doesn't respond.
I'm going to keep pretending to talk to Clayton and message again. Saying, I wouldn't look around. You won't be able to see me anyway.
Might see me.
Like kicking a spider's nest.
This is the worst thing.
Wasp nest.
Oh look, a hornet.
Do something. Do something.
You're too far away to hear anything, but you see the kind of a movement from him that could be a laugh. And he puts his hand on the Opari guy in a kind of conversational way and drinks again and continues talking to him.
Okay, I'll leave it at that for now.
Right.
Okay.
I'm just sort of, I'm not going to obviously look at him, but sort of as I'm just scanning crowd in my guard position, just sort of keep an eye sort of half on him and just sort of, does he look confused, rattled, or anything?
He's definitely on edge.
Perfect.
You know,
Just what I wanted to do.
He's clearly confident that he's safe,
Yeah.
but he is now no longer relaxed.
That's what I wanted.
Do I, from where we're dancing, see him start not looking relaxed, not knowing that that's happening?
I think because you guys have kind of been investigating the tapestry, I think, you know, would you spend time looking at him?
I'd probably kind of keep just glancing back just to be sure.
You might see that he, maybe he seems uneasy, but you wouldn't assume anything's happened.
Okay.
He's very well, you know, in the same way that you are, he's very well, you know, trained in kind of eloquence, and he's very good at, he's saving face, you know,
Yeah.
so.
So if he was super rattled, then I'd probably start getting a bit on edge too.
Yeah, I think, you know, because he's got a mask on, it's really hard to say.
Fine.
Okay, so, yes. You have something to say?
Yes. No, I was just going to say, while I'm standing on the edge of the dance floor, bodyguarding my masters, would I notice the Opari guy there?
Yeah, you can see him.
Is what he I have two questions.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, his uniform thing.
Yeah.
Is that kind of standard Opari, or is there anything odd about it?
It is relatively, but what it does show is that he's not an Opari knight, because they would have both pauldrons, and they would have a full cloak of ribbons. So he's in a kind of more diplomatic or ceremonial robes of someone who is either was or is a Dooney, or is on the way to becoming an Opari knight. Or a Veil Knight. So he's probably quite, he's not noble, he's probably still one of the but he's not, he's connected well, clearly.
Is it very weird he's here?
Yes, it's weird that what he said to you was that he's here to make better relations with nobles in Dustmere. It's very far away from the Opari, so it's maybe a bit odd, but you are aware of diplomatic, missions that would have gone on. And the Opari Empire is...
Do they usually travel alone? Would I know that?
Yes, they probably wouldn't be alone, usually.
Okay. I'm done.
Okay. Alright, so while you guys are carrying on, the only person that's not here is Moxie.
Yes.
So what have you decided that you're going to do?
Can I sort of investigate the case for any arcane traps or just mundane traps as well?
Sure.
Because I know that it's got abjuration on it. I don't know what the spell exactly, but abjuration is protection stuff. So
yes. Okay. Roll an investigation check.
19.
Okay.
Investigation.
So you can see that there are, with a 19, that there are potentially 2 traps on this. There is one on the outside of the stand that has, if you look down the glass and down through the pane that's facing you, you can see writing at the bottom of it. And it's possible that when that is disturbed, it could trigger a trap of some sort. Mm-hmm. And you also see that some of the wires go down into little holes in the base. So they're not only suspending the coils, the stones and shards, but they might be connected to some kind of device within it as well.
Mm-hmm. Would doing stuff with Ansel, would that cast as that would count as casting counting a spell if I wanted to bamf him into the case?
I don't.
Would that
is it a spell to summon? No, it's not casting a spell.
I think it's an action to do.
Is it a spell to summon him? Because you haven't had him with you, have you? Or has he been on you? spider.
spider.
It was a spider. I think I bounced him back into his little pocket.
Does it say it's not casting a spell though? So I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, as an action while it's different. Yeah, as an action, yeah, but whether that counts
No,
as a
I don't
spell.
think so. I think it'd be a spell to create him as a ritual, or if you were just going to burn a spell slot to actually change him.
Stuff, yeah. Okey-doke.
But you can ask him to do stuff without interrupting the invisibility.
So this is probably if I was to if he's interacting with an object, if I bamf him while he's holding that object, will the object go with him, or
I don't think so.
yeah, I didn't think it would. Yeah, cool. I don't have the means to disarm these traps or anything. So I'm just gonna have to. It's too dangerous. So
You're just gonna have to steal it.
So yeah. So the big thing in the middle. Does it look like a coil stone? Did you
Yes.
say it does? Okay.
It looks like a big coil stone.
There's
Probably like this. There's the biggest ones are about the size of your thumb,
Yeah.
and those ones in the middle, they have this literal coiling nature to them, this fractal shape within them, and those ones have been positioned around as well, so they're all part of this kind of twisting seed. You can almost make out that it's the overall alignment of the shards makes this shape. Like they were potentially one piece, but there's obviously lots missing where the gaps are.
Okay. Cool. So I mean, it's not a bad assumption. This might have been the one that was stolen from the Lapidaris Guild if it's like the prize.
Well, the coil stone, they said that it was a single one, so you would class the thumb-sized ones as a coil stone.
Oh, right. Okay.
This larger structure, I mean, if it was in one piece, it would be it'd be just inexplicably expensive. You've never heard of something that big before. It's like a foot by a foot. It's huge.
And does it have like the same sort of like? I'm sorry to keep on asking. Does it look like this? The big one does look like a coil stone to me. It's just bigger than any I could have ever imagined.
I wouldn't say it has a much more complex shape. So obviously it's almost like when they build a fossil in 3 dimensions with bits. So it's not got all the pieces there, but you can see the general shape of the creature. It's like that. So they've got hundreds of coil shards and stones suspended where they think that they would be on this larger shape.
Right. Okay.
And the larger shape is that of a twisted seed.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I understand.
Yeah,
now.
it's a bit of it's a bit complex to explain. So that's what that is. That twisted seed shape is of the larger shape, what it could have been. Yeah, exactly.
Right, not there is one bigger obvious one.
Exactly,
Right.
no.
Gotcha.
The biggest actual coil stones are within the middle, and they're about the size of your thumb.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. I don't think there's anything. I don't want to trigger these traps. Yeah. I'm gonna head back to. Yeah. Just head back to. Yeah. The main area. I'm still invisible for. How long do I
Probably say you got another 20 minutes, maybe.
So
15 minutes.
So I wouldn't be able to get to the other wing in time while I'm still
Yeah, you
invisible. While I'm still invisible.
Yeah. It's not, it's a mansion, but it's not a 15-minute walk. So it depends as well. You could. Let me put it this way: you could definitely go back into the scullery passageway, through the whole thing, and out into the main hall in in between 3 and 5 minutes.
Yeah. No, I think it's. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I can.
No worries. So where are you going to make your way to?
Just go back to. Just go back to the scullery place.
Okay.
Find somewhere out of the way and drop invisibility.
Sure.
Yeah, and then I guess speak to Delilah. It's like, hey, Delilah. It's Delilah, wasn't it? Yeah. Where do you need me? Anywhere particular?
Oh, I would just continue making sure that the guests are happy. If they need any help in the kitchen, thank you for asking me, by the way. We've had a few accidents with people slipping and that kind of stuff, but no guests, thankfully. So yes, just keep an eye. We've got someone working hard up there. I can't remember the girl's name, but just keep to your post in the hall for now, and I'll call you if we need you.
There's a girl working in the kitchen.
It was. I think she's referring to the one in the hall that you were with. So there was 2 of you in the hall, kind of cleaning spills up and stuff.
Right.
Because you've not been doing anything.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. I guess. Yeah. I'll go back and just to the main hall. Yeah.
Okay. So as you enter the main hall, there is a sound of something tapping on glass coming from the naval table.
I'm going to edge towards the stage.
And there's a silence, and the band kind of comes to a slow and fades to finish. And Duke Gaspar takes to the steps and walks up onto the stage, and everyone's like clapping, you know, as he stands in the middle, and he says, "Welcome to this wonderful, unique occasion, and welcome to our host, the man himself, crowned Duke Debiles. Welcome home." And everyone's like, "Woo!" And he takes his mask off. The Debiles takes his mask off, and he's like,
Oh my god, it's him! From downstairs.
I'm positioning myself like.
and he takes his mask off, and he's got chubby cheeks and like these bushy jowls.
Great big bushy
beard.
And he kind of waves, and the Debiles worshippers, you know, they're like, oh my god, you know, they're absolutely.
Where's someone
incensed.
who wanted to talk
Yeah, did he
to
ever
it?
go up
Did he
to
do
the
it?
table?
No, he's still there. He's up almost by the little curtained area of the tables, and he's kind of like, you know, clapping and staring like people obsessed with celebrities, you know. And then Gaspar sweeps his hand across the hall to the other table, and to welcome to our honored guests. Among them, we have a representative from the Lapidarists. Now that we have you, may we hear where all of the coilstones are kept? And everyone's like, and laughs and claps. It's very cringe.
Top banter going.
Yeah. And
How dry.
and then he says, and Zerek from the Opari.
Derek.
Derek.
You already know his name is Zerek.
Oh. Why not Derek?
Welcome to this jewel in the sand. And we also have among them a man many would be surprised to see. Newly elected leader of the syndicate, Julien of the House de Lante family. And there's a kind of silence across the hall.
Awkward.
I'm sure I speak for many of us when I say we look forward to a time when we will work closer together. And I feel that this time is upon us. And there's a few people like, I won't burden you all with a long speech. I would like to get to the main event. And the servants.
This a crossbow bolt.
I'm going to edge towards Freya.
Start vomiting.
Get out the crossbow.
No,
Do you actually get a crossbow out?
No, just the bolt. You're just dipping the bolt out.
Maintaining eye contact.
I will ask you, do you get out the crossbow out?
Not a crossbow,
The
a
bolt.
crossbow bolt.
Okay.
So you do get the bulbs out.
Why? What do you do with it?
I dip it in a poison.
So you roll sleight of hand.
I'm just going to, while he's doing that, I'm just edging towards Freya in my capacity as bodyguard.
I'm gonna unclip the sword, but I'll keep it there.
Okay.
So I can just grab it.
5.
It's a bold strategy, can't you?
Clayton absolutely sees you, and I would say that a couple of people around you notice you dipping a crossbow bolt into a vial of something.
I'm a guard, it's fine.
They don't do anything, but they see you. Yeah.
I start sniffing it.
In fact, one of them probably looks at you and then walks off towards the entrance.
It's fine.
Okay.
I feel sick.
So, right.
And these servants start wheeling out something from under a cloth from outside. It's covered. It looks like a lectern under a cloth, basically, and they wheel it out to the middle of the stage, and Gaspar stands before it, and he's kind of like putting his hands on it and stuff. A gift for our magnanimous host. Please join me. And he waves him over, and gestures for Debiles to come up to join him, and he does. He gets up and he takes a moment to kind of get around the chair because he's quite big and he's a bit drunk, and he's like starts walking up the stairs, and everyone's like clapping and the worshippers are cheering. He's got that long fringe that the middle parting but
Boy
flapping
zone.
at his the boy zone is like flapping at his temples.
What lad?
And then Gaspar puts his hand up, and the crowd kind of quiets for him. He says, "Your return is momentous. It is a time when conflicts are peaking, a time when we need you most. So I present to you a gift from a new time, a new key to Dustmere, if you will." He pulls back the cloth and he reveals on a stand, like a lectern, a huge coilstone.
Fuck.
A shard like a sharp wedge, about a hand span long, and it catches the light of the candles around them and refracts it in this kind of rainbow. And Gaspar takes it, yeah?
I put like my hand on the small of Freya's back. I kind of turn back like to whisper in her and be like, "Get ready to fucking run."
Gaspar takes the coil stone from the stand, and Debiles is like, I don't know what to say.
Phenomenal.
And he hands it to him.
You just discovered he is a pawn.
He hands it to him, and Gaspar takes it, and Debiles takes it. He's like holding it up, and it catches the light of the candles again, almost glowing. It's soft,
big is
like
it?
it's about a hand span long. So
Why did I think it was like this?
no, it's quite big. It's about what's a hand span like?
Well, whose hand, man? Because
It's between 8 and 10 inches long, something like that. It's quite long actually. Long.
everyone always overestimates.
And everyone's kind of like, with this new gift, this extravagant, unimaginably expensive gift, everyone's cheering. I'd say the lapidarist, Freya, you would see the lapidarist guy looks a bit like, what?
This is a stolen one.
Maybe. He looks a bit, he's not clapping, let's put it that way. And then Gaspar kind of holds it up and he's like, like a trophy. And in that moment, this kind of like peaking of all of the crescendo of claps and cheers, the symbols on the stage flash for a brief moment. The candles are snuffed out. The candles puff with smoke as the light fades. And Debiles jumps around and looks confused for a moment. And everyone's like clapping again. They think it's like this really cool show. And he like, and he like bows and smiles. And then the coilstone glows brighter and brighter on the dark stage. And people applaud, and a few of them around you are now on their knees praying and like literally prostrating themselves on the floor. And then the giant tapestry, yes?
Just wondering what the chandelier situation is directly above them.
There is a chandelier above the stage.
I'm looking at Amaya just like side eye, just like.
How high up is the chandelier?
It's above the stage. It's probably from where he is. It's like
From
10
where
foot.
I am.
Oh, from where it's directly above the stage, and you guys are you were dancing, so for maybe I'd say 50 feet, maybe 60 feet away from you.
Fuck. Okay, fine.
It's quite high up as well. And he bows after the candles are snuffed out, this kind of bang, almost like stage fireworks,
When that happens, I grab my sword off of Freya.
Okay, cool. The giant tapestry hanging behind him ignites in an immediate inferno of roiling fire and thick smoke. And in that moment, the coilstone pulses a single silencing, opalescent wave of pressure across the room. Oily black glass erupts up Debiles' arm, ripping through his flesh and bone up his shoulder. He screams. Crystals burst through his suit and consume his body. His gurgling scream is cut off by the resonant ringing of solid glass. A tower of black and gold glass stands where he once was. Gaspar stumbles back, falls off the stage, and crashes into the musicians, who are now scattering. The tapestry falls, half incinerated in a huge explosion of smoke and fire. And that is where we're going to take it. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.